Hello everyone and welcome to the Forum. I'm John Evans of WECT and Fox Wilmington News, filling in for my wife Sheila. It's a new school year and the start of a new season here on the Forum. Every show is going to highlight school and community achievements, events and programs and so much more. It's tradition to kick off the season by highlighting the 3 New Hanover County Schools Teachers of the Year, and we continue that tradition today. We're sitting down with each one of them and learning a little about their background and their teaching methods. Unfortunately, our high school teacher of the year, Sandra Soselsky, could not make it with us today, but we congratulate her on her achievement. Instead, we're going to feature an interview with the new principal of Gregory Elementary, which reopened this year as an international magnet school. Our first guest is the New Hanover County Schools Teacher of the Year winner, Christopher Walters. He's a physical education teacher at Parsley Elementary School. Then we're going to feature the Middle School Teacher of the Year, Jeremy Bowie. He's a science teacher at DC Virgo Preparatory Academy. And finally, we'll hear from Leanne Lampley, the principal at International School at Gregory. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself and her plans for the school. It's an exciting start to the season with 3 excellent interviews. And we'll get started right after this short break. Stay tuned.
What state am I?
I'm the largest state east of the Mississippi River. My nickname is the Peach State. The 1996 Summer Olympics were held here. Do you know who I am? If you guessed Georgia, you're right. I received statehood in 1788.
This United States factoid has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
And welcome back. My next guest is the Educator of the Year for New Hanover County Schools. He is Christopher Walters, who teaches PE at Parsley Elementary. Chris, congratulations. Good to see you.
Well, thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in teaching. Is this something you wanted to do from a young age?
Yeah, I knew pretty early on, that I wanted to go into physical education and be a teacher. When I was coming through school, PE was my favorite subject. Mm-hmm. That's really what got me through school, but then I also wanted to coach. I was real big into baseball, played baseball through high school. So I wanted to kind of go in that route and to, follow coaching and, goes hand in hand with PE.
I want to get a little bit into more of the subject in a little bit, but as Educator of the Year, what all does that entail for you? Do you have any responsibilities?
Oh, yeah, they're coming, but like at the beginning of the summer, I was able to go to, it's called NCAT, it's North Carolina Center for Advancing Teaching, and I was able to go spend a week and, talk about leadership with other teachers of the year from other counties. I was actually in one of the sessions with Bobby Kavanaugh, who is the state teacher of the year this year. So that, and then I'm on a couple of committees and the PTA board at Parsley, and then for the county we're on a couple of the instructional committees.
It has to be a proud moment because obviously you're nominated and then you're selected, but would you call this the highlight of your teaching career so far?
Most definitely, yeah. Never would have thought it,
right.
Being Teacher of the Year, but yeah, most definitely. It's probably the biggest achievement that I've ever had. So.
Now, did you have an idea that, you said you played baseball, so like every young man, you want to be a professional baseball player at some point in time.
Yes,
but did you always want to have that drive? What drew you to education and what drew you to want to teach outside of wanting to get into coaching?
Yeah, well, I've always enjoyed working, with students and going in, I was able to go and shadow, as going through high school, and I really found, going and working with kids and watching them develop and, working on certain skills or whatever, and as you see them grow, and know that you're able to, have a part in their development and them achieving. I mean, that really set it for me, and so I knew, right from the beginning that that's how I wanted to, take that next step in life.
We were talking before we got started here. You don't just teach PE. You add some other things to it, kind of like a chef almost, adding little ingredients to your recipe. So what is your recipe for success as far as PE is concerned?
Well, a lot of people think PE, we just go in and we, throw out basketballs or whatever, and we
Right.
just run around and play games. And while we do play games, a lot of my stuff is centered around games. I like to, work with the teachers in my school and add in a lot of core content with a lot of the stuff that we do. So, I'm working with core words while my kids are walking down a balance beam. We're working on multiplication facts while we walk on what I have is called an infinity rug, where kids are working on both sides of the brain, activating them, and then, they're saying their multiplication facts. And it's been shown through studies that if you incorporate movement with learning, the kids actually retain more. So, I don't want to be just labeled as a PE teacher, but, as an educator, that I'm helping those kids, meet those standards, on the test that they have to take and stuff.
What kind of feedback do you get from the kids? Now, I know in this day and age, a lot of them just want to sit there and play whatever games, but do you get good feedback from them?
I do. I think my class is one of the more popular ones. The kids love coming to my class, which that lets me know that I'm doing, I'm doing my job, and that I'm reaching those kids. But those kids don't really know that, they don't know that they're, learning math. They're playing a game while they're learning math, but they're more focused on the game part of it. I'm more focused on the math or the reading, while I'm looking at their development through those games.
Have the other teachers given you that positive feedback too?
Yeah, my teachers at Parsley, I mean, they're awesome. They'll send me stuff that they're working on in their class. That way I can tailor it towards my class. And they know that through what I do and through the music and the art teachers, that we're all reaching that same goal.
What's you've been in teaching now how long? About a decade, you said?
Yeah, I've started my 14th year.
Okay, decade and a half almost. What do you see as the biggest issue? Is it that the drive and desire to get the kids up and moving, especially in your aspect of it?
Well, with my kids, getting them, because you have all the tablets and stuff that the kids are sitting down, but I think as far as the teaching profession, it would be teacher retention. With a lot of the cuts that we're having, there's through the College of Education across North Carolina, enrollment has dropped 35%.
Yeah.
And so we've got to get those young teachers in there and get them to come to education, but with all the attacks, I reckon, against public education, it's really knocking a lot of people away from public education. And public education is one of the best jobs that you can go into, because while I might not see all my impact today, I mean, I'm impacting the future.
And you see those kids come back in 5 or 10 years later and say, I still remember something I took in your class.
Well, it's funny you said that. I walked in Monday and we had a family night on the lawn Friday, and I had some students come in and they marked on my board and he's telling me, hey, we miss Parsley, miss PE, and I always do a bone of the week, where I teach kids a certain bone, the proper name, where it's located, and our bone of the week was phalanges, which is in your fingers and your toes. And one of the students said, I remember that. And so, I mean, this is a middle schooler that came back, said, I remember that. So, I'm having that lasting effect. So that's
kind of walked a little taller, a little
prouder.
that
I did. I took
day,
a couple
right?
of pictures and posted it. It's pretty cool to know that, that they recognize that and they come back with it.
Well, Chris, once again, congratulations. The Educator of the Year for New Hanover County Schools, Chris Walters, the PE teacher at Parsley Elementary. Continued success, Chris. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back with our next guest after this.
Listen up, Energy Hogs. We got a real porker of a house here. Get in there and waste some energy.
There's no insulation, boss. It's hog heaven.
Leaky windows, too. This is gonna be a breeze. Perfect. Go wild and waste some wattage.
Time to tan. Oh, there's hot water for just one pair of pants. My my kind of place.
Wow! This thing's so old it's gonna take me hours to get dry.
Keep wasting. They'll never know what hit them till they get the energy bill.
What the? Boss, they're home! And they've got energy-efficient bulbs! Ah!
You've got the power to get rid of energy hogs. You can help your parents add insulation, put in Energy Star appliances, and lots of other things to make your home hog-free. Find out how at energyhog.org and play fun games, too.
Oh, retreat! Retreat!
Go to energyhog.org and get the energy hogs out of your home.
Hey, wait for me!
Let's see what's for lunch today. What are you having?
Tacos, great. We had meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas.
What's this? Looks good.
We had beef stew, noodles, pudding, and whole milk.
You know, today's school lunches are more nutritious and have better variety.
They're totally awesome.
It is definitely not your parents' school lunch anymore.
A message from the American School Food Service Association.
And welcome back. We are joined by another Educator of the Year. Jeremy Bowie is with us. He is the Middle School Teacher of the Year. He's from Virgo and he teaches science, and we're going to learn more about Jeremy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
What's it like to be named Teacher of the Year, Middle School Teacher of the Year in New Hanover County Schools?
Wow, it's an amazing honor. Totally humbled by it. I before was the Teacher of the Year at a previous county where I worked, but coming down to New Hanover County was a great opportunity, and I was really surprised, just completely floored by it.
Well, what's the key to teaching science? Why do you enjoy teaching science so much?
I love science because it's so hands-on. It's not like, English where you're just sitting and reading a book, or, social studies where you're remembering a lot of facts, but you get a chance to really do a lot of engagement. That's why I really like science so much.
What do you teach in a classroom? How do you get the kids involved in science when, let's face it, not every child is meant to be a research scientist or a scientist? How do you get that engagement level up with those young men and women?
Well, a lot of times we do a lot of hands-on activities. A lot of group work. They do a lot of things that get them up and moving, so they're not just sitting in a desk or sitting at a table all day long. But it gives them an opportunity to get up and to move around and interact with other people. And we use technology a lot in my class. And so between the technology piece and working with other people, kind of having conversations about the content, that really keeps them engaged. It really kind of gets them thinking outside the box. I think a lot of times we don't really think about how science interacts our everyday lives. And so making those practical applications, you go outside, see this cloud in the sky, what do you think is going to happen? Those types of things.
Make them think 24/7, 365?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What kind of topics do you cover?
Well, this year in 7th grade science, we just got finished learning about laws of motion, which is like physics. And we're going to go into cells in the human body and genetics, which is like my favorite area. And then we'll do weather and water at the end of the year.
Is that you're just talking about cells in the human body being your favorite?
Oh yeah, that's by far.
And what brought you to that?
Well, I was a biology major in college.
Go. Okay.
With the chemistry minor, I was going to go to medical school, I thought. And just kind of changed up a little bit about my junior year and decided, this isn't for me. And so I went to the classroom. So I've always enjoyed science and, cells in the body. So that's my favorite area.
So then what drew you to teaching? I mean, I imagine if you're going one direction, all of a sudden a light bulb go off one day, or did you get an opportunity to go in a classroom and see what it was like?
Really interesting thing that happened. I was looking for a job, and there was a school down in New Orleans that needed a teacher. And this lady that I knew who went to the church that I went to, she said, why don't you go and apply for the job at the school? And I said, okay, why not? It couldn't hurt anything. And so I went down and applied and got the job and loved it. I said, oh man, this is great, And I've been doing that for the most part ever since.
And where else have you worked other than New Hanover County?
I worked in Laurinburg in Scotland County, and I also taught for that year down in New Orleans.
So is it different when you teach in different venues, whether New Orleans versus a more rural county like a Scotland County to a more city setting like a New Hanover County?
Absolutely, absolutely. Each place has its own challenges. You know, and each group of children, they come to you with different values and different norms, and so you really kind of be flexible, just to, you know, make sure that, you know, you're not offending, you know, one group or the other, and, you know, really just kind of taking their culture into view.
Is there, as you sit back and look at it now as the middle school educator of the year, is there that one time when you remember that first special experience that a young man or a young woman got something or came back and said, thank you?
Absolutely.
I learned this. Can you remember that? Tell
Absolutely,
me about that.
absolutely. One of my teachers from my previous county, one of the students that I had, was going off to college this year. And I happened to take a picture of a notebook that she had that I still use to this day, and as an example to my kids. And I told her, I said, hey, you know, I'm still using your notebook. And she said, Mr. Bowie, you know, thank you for everything that you've done. She said, you know, I'm going to college, and I knew that she had a lot of, you know, home issues and troubles that she was experiencing, and she was just so excited. And those moments like that are priceless. They really are.
Yeah, they come back and you make you stand up a little taller.
Oh yeah,
stick the
absolutely.
chest out a little bit more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What trends do you see in education moving now? I know there are a lot of challenges. I know there are a lot of issues, but is education moving in a different direction in the 21st century now?
I think so. I think so. I think, you know, one of the best things that we can do as educators is to get children to understand that you're not in the world by yourself. And I think so many times, especially as it relates to content knowledge and things in the classroom, it's very easy for them to, you know, think only about themselves or about the person sitting beside them. But we're having to develop children that can compete on a world stage. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, when I was going through school, you know, we didn't think about people across the world. You know, it wasn't, right. You know, we could barely, you know, talk to people in the same state with us. Mm-hmm. But now it's, you know, with the internet, with technology, you know, they're able to span the seas and go across countries and talk to other people and engage with one of them, you know, with others. And so I just think that's really important, you know, that getting them to see, you know, the bigger picture.
As somebody who's flipping the channels and they're stopping and they're hearing Jeremy right now, what message do you have for someone who's thinking about going into education or teaching and maybe on the fence about it?
You know, I would say to anybody, you know, by all means, go into it. Education is not for everybody. But for those, you know, select few people that it might be for, by all means, go at it, you know, with everything that you have, because the payoffs will be unbelievable in the end.
Okay, Jeremy Bowie, the middle school teacher of the year in New Hanover County from DC Virgo. Jeremy, congratulations
Thank you
once
so
again.
much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more after this.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Who was president? The year 1881. He declared war on the leading faction of his own party. He began prosecution of frauds in the U.S. Postal Service. He was shot by a disappointed office seeker. If you guessed James A. Garfield, you're right. He was the 20th President of the United States. This presidential pop quiz has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network, Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
I am joined by Leanne Lampley. She is the principal of the International School at Gregory. Leanne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Moore County, about 3 hours from here, and I have been in education for about 18 years. I have been a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teacher.
There you go.
And I have 2 gorgeous, beautiful daughters.
Okay. Tell us what's bringing you here to New Hanover County.
First of all, the beach. We've
there you go.
always wanted to live at the beach, and when this opportunity came up, I thought this is perfect for us because I opened the only dual language school in my county, and when I saw this opportunity, I just knew this was right up my alley. My oldest daughter's graduating from high school, so UNC Wilmington might be a possibility for her.
That'd be nice, huh?
And then my little one is real excited. She's going to 6th grade, so she will also be a rising 6th grader at Gregory. So when I saw the opportunity, it was just a perfect fit.
And it's going to be a Spanish immersion program, correct?
Spanish immersion.
Why
yes.
is that so important?
And well, the way I feel about dual language, it opens opportunities and doors for children that have never had those opportunities before. Today, being competitive in the global society is very important. And when you think about the job market in the future, we want all of our kids to be competitive. I gave the example earlier that when you have two children competing for the same job, and one's bilingual and one's not, more than likely the one that's bilingual is going to get that opportunity.
Makes sense.
Yes, and the younger they are, the faster they learn it. So it's a prime time for them to learn the language.
So is the school that you opened in Moore County Spanish immersion?
Yes, it is. We use the 90-10 model there.
Okay.
So 90% of the day they hear Spanish, 10% of the day English. So this model is a little bit different. It's 50-50, but also 50%. One day they will have Spanish, one day they'll have English. So they'll be fully immersed 50% of the time, every other day. They'll have Spanish.
So can you share any plans that you have for Gregory?
Well, right now the plans are to get into Gregory. We're merging two wonderful schools. I've heard about the International School at Gregory and Forest Hills, and those two cultures both bring ideas, and I'm looking forward to merge those cultures together so that we can be a fabulous school.
Okay. What do you look forward to most as being principal with a new situation?
The challenge. I've been a principal for 7 years in the same building, and every day is exciting. Every day is exciting. No day's the same. But coming to, first of all, a new county with new parents, new children, I guess the first thing I'm looking forward to is just getting to know everybody, finding out what's important, what's important to the Gregory parents, what's important to Forest Hills parents, and let's merge those cultures, reach out to our community, and just make a strong environment for everybody.
Do you have any idea what your enrollment's expected to be?
I'm not quite sure right now, but I think it's looking really good.
Is there a district for Gregory, or will it truly be just a choice
It's
school?
a magnet school,
Okay.
so what I've heard, we bus from beach to Battleship.
Okay, that is true.
Yes.
I just know that once upon a time it did have,
Yes,
the
yes. As
neighborhoods
far as I
around.
know, right now it is a magnet school, so we are, the applications have been out there, and our enrollment looks really good.
So you'll have a full schoolhouse.
Yes.
What do you look forward to most with your journey here to Wilmington?
I think just like I said, getting to know the area, getting to know people. I'm a people person. I like to talk. I like to meet new people, and just reaching out and finding out what's important to everybody and build on those cultures. That's what I love to do.
And what grade level is the school going to be?
It's going to be K-6
K6
next year, and hopefully we'll keep adding each year after that.
Adding grade, like
Adding,
7?
I'm thinking maybe adding 7th the next, and then 8th the next year. I think that I'm correct on that.
Is there room in that building for that?
I think the building is pretty big.
Okay.
It's, when I've been in, there's 3 stories and an elevator. I was pretty impressed with the size. I know that there's some folks that are there now, maybe housing different parts of different
other programs.
Yes, things like that throughout the county might be using the building.
Gotcha.
But we'll make room. Bring the children, and we will build it. They will come.
There you go. What do you think will be your biggest challenge?
Wow. There's always challenges
Sure.
with being a principal. I think, again, I don't see it as a negative challenge, but just getting to know what's important to everybody, and being successful is not going to be a hard thing, because I've seen the program in action. I know it's a wonderful thing for kids, and I always put the interest of children, at heart at first. So, I guess the biggest challenge is just getting to know the two cultures and building that school. It's like truly a brand new school.
Right,
So.
right. Will all the staff in the office be totally immersed in Spanish?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. We welcome you to start the new school year in August. That'll be exciting. Hope your girls do well.
Yes.
Maybe your oldest daughter will choose UNCW.
Maybe so.
She'll be a Seahawk. We'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages. Good deal.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
We hope you've enjoyed the program today. We do want to congratulate all of the New Hanover County Schools Educators of the Year. The full Teacher of the Year banquet you can see on the school system's website. Just click on the NHCS TV logo, found right there on the front page. If you ever have any questions about the topics we discuss here on the show, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4180 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. Once again, I'm John Evans of WECT and Fox Wilmington News, filling in for my wife Sheila today. Thanks for joining us.